their wudu, and I would make Isha prayer before midnight. يعني I delay it. Okay, that's in the masjid. يعني. Yeah, but it is difficult. So the Prophet ﷺ, I'm not doing it because it's difficult for my nation. Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu said, the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the name of Isha, what is this? Okay, this is narrated by Muslim. Okay, يعني the Bedouins used to call Isha another name. So the Prophet ﷺ told them, don't call it by that name because it's not the proper name. The name is Isha.
Okay.
Abdullah ibn Mughaffar radiallahu anhu said, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, another hadith, the same meaning. Abi Barza radiallahu anhu said, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam found it undesirable to sleep before Isha. Why? Because if you sleep before Isha, normally you would continue until Fajr and you lose the Isha prayer. You see, especially when the nights are short. You see? So this is why. Yani. But if it's undesirable, we have a rule in the fundamentals of fiqh. If something is haram, then the necessity makes it okay, allowed. Okay? And if something is undesirable, then what is less than necessity, which we call the need, makes it okay. Makes it allowable without being undesirable. Yani haram, necessity. Undesirable, need. Okay? So, to give an example, for example, it is undesirable to do what? Let's say to drink water while standing.
Yes.
Okay. The need, maybe the doctor tells you this will be better for your healing to stand up, for example. If this is only imaginary, but if he tells you...
No, you had a surgery and you can't sit while you drink because it will maybe open the wound.
Sahih. So here it not only becomes okay, but it might reach desirable or obligatory that you drink while standing. How? When the doctor tells you, if you sit, you will be harmed. Okay? So it becomes obligatory to drink standing. Because Allah said, do not kill yourselves in Quran. Okay? Do not harm yourselves. Okay? And if it doesn't harm you, but it's very difficult for you, you feel pain without being harmed, then it's desirable that you stand while you drink while standing. You see, because you are using what Allah has allowed you, and this is good by itself. You see, to say Allah is so merciful that He allowed us to do this. Therefore, I'm going to take advantage of this. This, you get the reward for this intention. You see? Some people say, no, let me feel the pain so that I get the reward. No, you don't get the reward here. You get the reward by doing something which relieves you from this pain. Not from bringing the pain. You see? Yeah. The next hadith about Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu said, the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam, okay, we mentioned this, I'm going backwards.
Okay.
Another one, خلصنا من هذه. Okay, this hadith, Ibn Umar radiallahu anhuma said, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam prayed once, the Isha prayer, when this was in the end days of his life, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam stood and he said, do you see your night, this night, after exactly 100 years, no one who is on this earth would be remaining. Okay.
If you see your what?
يعني the Prophet ﷺ was talking to his companions and he was telling them, none of you will be remaining after 100 years. One might say, this is easy. يعني 100 years, who will live after 100, right? But subhanallah, يعني, this shows how he is the Prophet of Allah. One of those who were there died exactly after 100 years. Exactly after 100 years from this hadith, he died. You see?
So it was not 101, it was exactly after.
Yeah.
The
يعني,
rest died before 100.
right. يعني if I tell you now that none of you after 100 years will be living after 100 years, you will say, okay, so what? Everyone knows that, right?
And one actually gets to one.
Yeah.
Then dies.
And then
يعني, this is one of the signs of prophethood, يعني, that the Prophet ﷺ does not know what's coming. Allah has told him. This is agreed upon hadith by
Why
Bukhari.
he said that hadith?
Huh?
Why he said that hadith?
Conversation.
He said
showed that
it,
Rasulullah has many qualities of Nabi. He
Right.
knows before what they will die, what they will do. He knows by some things that he gets from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
not everything, brother, but
Some things.
this information has been revealed to him by Allah.
Yes.
يعني this specific group that he was talking to only, he said, none of you will be remaining, okay, after 100 years.
the people used to live longer those days.
Some of them, yeah, lived a long time. Salman
Oh, yeah,
lived
back
more
then.
than 200, 300
Back then
years.
they lived long. How
Salman
many years?
Farsi,
Allahu Akbar.
300 years?
تقريبا 200 or more.
200 or more. I heard that.
Salman, one of the companions.
Yeah.
Lived up to 200.
Yeah, 200 or more he lived.
Now
He
you
was
don't
the
get
one
no
who
one
designed
that past
the,
100.
No,
Five.
no.
No, some people 106, 108.
Rare.
Still today, yeah.
From Japan mostly.
Yeah. They eat a lot
Okay.
of vegetables.
The Japanese.
Anas radiallahu anhu narrated that they waited the Prophet for the Prophet ﷺ, so he came near the midnight and he prayed Isha. And then he said after praying Isha, the people have prayed and slept and you were waiting for the prayer. By Allah, you will still be in prayer as long as you are waiting for the prayer.
Oh my God, that is a
Subhanallah,
beautiful
we
thing.
mentioned this
That is a
hadith.
beautiful thing. Man.
Yeah. يعني you are still in prayer, meaning that you will be getting the reward of the prayer. This is beautiful because when one waits for the prayer, he prepares his mind. So it's sunnah to come and sit and wait. You see. Also, it is sunnah that when you move, يعني when you leave your home, on your way to the masjid, don't busy yourself or your mind with things other than salat. يعني that's why the Prophet ﷺ said, don't talk during your talk to the masjid.
Your ways.
يعني don't talk in dunya matters, things like that, you know. Prepare your mind, يعني. This is the point. Because khushu' is very important in salah.
And very difficult to get nowadays.
Nowadays it's very difficult and it's almost impossible because people are
Away from Sunnah.
too much into this dunya. يعني too much into this dunya, that's the problem. يعني. Imran ibn Husayn radiallahu anhu said that the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam was talking to us most of the night about the stories of Bani Israel. Okay, now this يعني this shows that it's okay to sit after Isha and talk as long as the talk is useful. Because the talk about the past nations is beneficial. Okay, so it's undesirable to stay up at night late in يعني something which is not useful. يعني. This is undesirable. And there is another hadith that the Prophet ﷺ used to sit with Abu Bakr after Isha, and they would talk in issues which relate to the Muslims and things like that. Umar radiallahu anhu said the Prophet ﷺ was, this is the same hadith, that was sitting with Abu Bakr at night after Isha. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu said, I asked the Prophet ﷺ which actions are the best. He said, prayers in the beginning of its time.
Beginning of what?
The beginning of its time. This is
On time.
this is the best action. Except Isha, the Prophet ﷺ said it's good to delay it.
He used to do it.
Nah. But it's good to delay it does not mean one misses the congregation.
Yes.
You see, يعني if he can make it in congregation, if you are camping outside the country and you say, let's make it before tonight all together in congregation,
Yes.
that's good, you see. That's better. And Nu'man ibn Bashir radiallahu anhu said, I am, okay, this is regarding the timing of Isha prayer, we mentioned this. Also, the next narration and the next. The Prophet ﷺ said, as Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu narrated, if it becomes too hot, then wait until hotness goes down and then make salat. Why? This is all because the Prophet ﷺ was very curious about devotion and prayer. When it's too hot, you cannot think right.
Yeah.
You see? Anything which, affects too hot, too cold, whatever it might be.
Too upset.
Yeah, too upset, whatever. One should try his best to make the place of prayer clean and also his mind clean. Better off, better, yeah. And then another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, he who makes one rak'ah of the prayer, then he has reached the whole prayer, meaning congregation. Anas ibn Malik radiallahu anhu said, the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, he who forgets a prayer or sleeps over it, then its makeup is to pray it when you remember it. Agreed upon. Okay. Uqba ibn Amir radiallahu anhu said, there are 3 times in which the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam forbade us to pray in them, or to bury our dead. When the sun rises. When the sun rises. When the sun, when the sun shifts from the middle of the sky, that is the Dhuhr prayer. Between the time where the sun is in the middle and Dhuhr prayer, there is about 20 minutes. In that time, you should not make any salat, except if you remember that you have not made Fajr, for example, or Isha, or Maghrib before,
Missed.
Whatever you missed, you should make it as soon as you remember it, even if it is in those times. Because this is obligatory prayer, and it's also obligatory to make it. So these are the 3 times, as the Prophet ﷺ mentioned. Did I mention the 3rd time? Or
No,
no?
you said 2. When the sun rises and when it's in the middle.
Okay, and before sunset, when the the sun starts to lose its shininess, that's the end of Asr time. Yani. From the end of Asr time to sunset, it's undesirable to make any salah. And at sunset itself, it is haram. You see? At sunrise and at sunset, you cannot make anything except obligatory prayers that you have to make up. You make them anytime. But it is undesirable before sunrise a little bit and before sunset. It becomes undesirable. Okay? So the haram are three
Even if
times.
you're making it up at that time, it's undesirable but not haram.
No, you making up is an obligation.
Okay.
Always. Because no one guarantees that you will remember it. Let's say now you said, well, it's haram to make it, I'll delay it. But you might forget it.
Right.
You see?
If we get it the first time, I'm sure you will forget.
Yeah.
That's why I stay in the masjid. Tell me about Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Some people told me that the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said you should make Fajr and the Isha in the masjid.
Yeah, it will come, inshallah. It will come. It will come. And then the hadith of Abu Qatada radiallahu anhu about the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, we mentioned this, that he hated to pray as we mentioned those times. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu said, the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam forbade us from making salat after Asr until the sun sets. We mentioned all this. Okay, next. Aisha radiallahu anha said, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the pen has been lifted, meaning those people will not be taken into charged for what they do.
The pen.
The pen has been lifted from three. The boy until he reaches the age of puberty, and the sleeping person until he wakes up, and the insane until he is healed. And as long as someone is insane, nothing is on him. As long as he sleeps.
If he is insane and he believes in Islam, he will have a straight trip to paradise?
Believes in Islam, insane cannot.
But he will say, I know some people, they say, I believe in Islam and I'm Muslim, but they don't follow the rule, but there's something wrong with
No,
them.
but this doesn't count because he doesn't know what he's saying.
Right. Very well.
So those people have a special treatment on the Day of Judgment. No.
And you say the child, the boy who, until he reaches like
Puberty. No. This shows that this is another condition for Salah. That one has to be sane, he has to be Muslim, he has to be reaching the age of puberty so that it will be obligatory on him. Before the age of puberty, Salat is not obligatory. But it's good to
Study.
to educate the child. Since 7, educate him. When you start educating the child, don't press wudu too much, even if he prays without wudu.
Yes.
Because sometimes the child cannot bear things that you can bear, Every time maybe she has to go and wash up and come, okay?
Frustrated.
Maybe they'll do it in the beginning,
They will resent this all the time.
but later on they'll find it very difficult for themselves. So don't push them. Just let them make the salat. And don't even push them to that until they are 10. When they are 10, then become harder on them. For salat, not for wudu. You see? Yeah.
Sure.
Nah.
During Friday prayers, a guy came, he's not sane, but he was making a lot of sound as far as salat. Everybody, was disturbed. Is it right to bring
No.
The saf, he's in
No.
the saf? In the line?
Yeah, he came in the line.
And he's
Yeah.
talking?
No, he was, having the 2 rakah before the imam.
Yeah. No, it's not right to bring them. Even the small children who
The children, I thought you told me.
No, he was talking about a young, insane person.
Yeah.
You should not bring him. And you should not bring small children who play a lot in the masjid and make shoutings, because you are destroying the devotion, if they have devotion. But you are at least, you are destroying the devotion. You are helping in that, So some people say, no, you'd like to bring our children, it's a good environment and things like that. It's a good environment if you teach him all the etiquettes. And tell him, you come to prayer, you sit with me, okay, don't talk, don't, Otherwise, you should not bring them. Okay. I will skip the adhan, and then...
I was in a salat one time, I'm going to tell you this. And there was a little boy, and there was Juma.
No.
And there was a little girl.
No.
And the little boy, pow, he smacked her in the face, and she was yelling and screaming so loud, I didn't know what to do. Should I stop my Juma and see about her?
No, don't stop it. Don't stop it. Their parents should...
This for them, huh?
Yeah. Otherwise, they'll come and blame you for... Okay, the first condition here is facing the Qibla. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu said, the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam said to that person who did not make his salat properly, if you stand up for prayer, then fulfill your wudu, then face the Qibla, then say Allahu Akbar. Narrated by Muslim. This shows that facing the Qibla is as a condition of salat as wudu itself. Because many people, unfortunately, don't put enough effort to find the Qibla. They say, oh, okay, Allah is merciful, and Allah said, wherever you face, you have, it's not the situation.
No, they
you have to do your best.
They said, in any direction you turn, you're facing Qibla.
Yeah. This is true when after you make the best you can to find the Qibla.
This is true when you don't know.
Yeah.
You didn't make effort, yes.
Ask or make your best judgment.
With today's technology, it's really...
No, today's technology, alhamdulillah, you have what you call them, campuses.
Yes. GPS and compass and mobile, everything.
Yep,
Okay.
You're right.
And the Prophet ﷺ said the Qibla is between east and west. Meaning what? Meaning that if you miss it a little bit from east or west, it's okay.
Still, yeah.
You see. Qibla, our Qibla is Kaaba when we see it. But if we are far away from it, then the direction of Kaaba is our Qibla. You see? If you are praying near the Kaaba, then you have to see the Kaaba. Not the direction, but the Kaaba itself. Because it's possible to be accurate. But if you are far away, like here, the direction is enough. If you are a little bit off here or there, no problem. Ibn Umar radiallahu anhuma said, when he mentioned the description of the Prophet's prayer of fear, he said, the prayer of fear is during wars.
Is what?
During wars. During the war,
your war.
you pray the prayer of fear because the enemies are there and they're waiting for you to be distracted. Even by prayer, they'll kill you, right? So therefore you are in fear and you have to pray. So there are special things for the prayer of fear. We will come to inshallah. No. And in prayer of fear, you cut short the prayer from 4 to 1 rak'ah.
What about 2?
No. 2 is for traveling. But
No,
fear...
I mean if it is Fajr and the war is Fajr, what do you do?
1.
Ah.
Yeah. The 4 you cut it to 1.
Fighting you pray
So the
to
2
one.
is 1 also.
The prayer of fear is
Yeah.
on your fard prayers. You can, if you're at a time when you're scared, you can just pray 1 rak'ah.
1 rak'ah. If it's real fear.
Yeah, real fear.
Yeah. 1.
Yeah, if you see fighting and blood and dying.
Right.
Not if you heard they coming.
And also you don't pray without someone protecting your
Watching the
back.
back.
You see? Someone must be guarding you.
Yes, when
You
pray.
see? Yeah, because Allah says, do not throw yourself into destruction.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Allah is most merciful. But you get 1 rak'ah out of 4. You make only 1. Jabir radiallahu anhu said the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam used to pray on the back of his camel, meaning on his camel, yani, wherever it turns to. This is not for the obligatory prayer. This is when you are traveling, let's say in a car now. We don't have a camel, in a car. You can pray while sitting, even if you are a driver, with your eyes only. You see? You can pray as much as you want, but not the obligatory prayer. You see? Just move your eyes, make ruku' like this, because you don't want to miss the road. Don't make like this, otherwise you'll bump. You know, no, make it like this. Yani, you are still, everything is there, clear, you know, just a little bit, just enough, yani, to make some kind of move, yani, by your eye to show the ruku' and another move to show the sujood. That's it. You can do that. Not the obligatory prayer, of course. And also the qibla is not necessary when you are praying the non-obligatory prayer in traveling.
The sunnah, you mean?
Yeah, when you are in your car. The qibla is not necessary.
And the plane.
Yeah.
Of course, you cannot control the direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you sit in the plane, you go through the motions of the rak'ah and everything, but you don't have to worry about if you are not facing the qibla.
You don't have to worry. In the obligatory or non-obligatory?
The obligatory in the plane.
The obligatory prayer in the plane, if you can stand, that's better. If you cannot stand, you sit. But you ask them the direction. If you are coming from America or Britain, you ask them for the direction of the qibla, or at least the east. If they say, well, we don't know where is Mecca.
No, I have the compass.
East. You have the compass, khalas. If you can face the qibla, you do it. If you cannot,
as most likely, you cannot face the
don't
qibla.
miss the prayer.
You cannot face the qibla when you're on the plane, because
Pray.
when you face the qibla, you could be praying inside somebody, or the lady need to walk their way. You are.
Pray as much as you can.
You know what I mean?
No.
She's coming to serve the drink, and you in the middle of the rak'ah in the aisle. Or you want to pray by the bathroom. Or you want to get in a station. I gotta pray. You don't have to sit down and pray. You can't. So it's okay to sit down and pray.
Yeah.
Saudi Airlines, they got prayer room.
Huh?
On the
Saudi, huh?